Hurricane Kiko is nearly a Category 5 now in the Eastern Pacific, currently with winds of 150 miles per hour, gusting to 180, pressure of 940 millibars, and it is moving west-northwest at 12 miles per hour. Here is the forecast for Kiko. We have it peaking in 6 hours as a Category 5 with winds of 160 miles per hour, and then the storm will, again, weaken due to high wind shear and decreasing sea surface temperatures, even though sea surface temperatures are already decreasing, and that has not done nothing to weaken this storm. Here is the wind field. It's still a small storm, but it is getting larger, but not really much to comment on the size of the storm because it's still a small storm, and that's partially why it's been able to go back and forth with its intensity over the past few days. We have no watches and warnings right now, and no wind threat, as we don't even know if Hawaii is going to get tropical storm force winds from this thing anymore. Here are our chances, 100% tropical storm category 1, 2, 3, 4, it's already reached those. 70% chance it will reach a Cat 5. There is still a chance it does not, but the satellite imagery and how fast this storm is strengthening now certainly would suggest that it is nearly a Category 5. And at landfall, we've dropped tropical storm from 40% to 10% because, and I'd honestly say 10% is probably generous. It's probably less than that, the chance that it actually makes a landfall. Overall danger we have dropped because it's not expected to pass us close to land. Wind threat, we're giving it 2. Maximum winds on land are not going to be high. I think maybe 15 miles per hour. Rainfall threat, not that significant. I think maximum rainfall on land, we're talking maybe 3/4 of an inch, which that probably should be a 1. Storm surge, we're giving a 1. Like, if there's any storm surge at all, we're talking maybe 2 feet. So not that significant. Its storm size, we're giving a 4, but by the time it gets to Hawaii, it will probably be larger than that. It'll probably be either a 5 or a 6 by the time it actually gets near Hawaii, but it's going to be so far north that that's not really going to matter. But right now, we're giving it a 4 because it's still a relatively small storm. Here are the other agencies. The National Hurricane Center has not updated in 6 hours as of the time I'm recording this, so they're still at 120 miles an hour, which it was about 120 miles an hour 6 hours ago, and that also shows just how fast the storm is actually strengthening right now. The GFS is at 130. I don't know exactly when their last update was, but I imagine it was more recent than the National Hurricane Center. And we're way up there at 150 miles an hour right now because of the visible imagery. We don't normally show the visible imagery, but I will put a picture of what the storm looks like on visible imagery on screen right now. It looks phenomenal on visible imagery. And we are going to move on to the other agency model forecast that's probably vastly underestimating the storm. Here's H-Wharf. They're at 951 millibars currently. You'd venture to say it's probably stronger than that. And I don't even see Hawaii on these models. So H-Wharf, no strengthening, and I don't even see Hawaii. H-Mon, not much more strengthening, 2 millibar drop. And once again, I don't see Hawaii on this model anywhere. HAFSA is at 949, dropping to 9, only a 3 millibar drop. There's just the northern part of Hawaii there, and you can see this is fairly accurate to what our track forecast is. You can see how far away the storm's going to stay from land. So, yeah, that's why we don't really think it's a significant threat to land right now. HFSB, I'm assuming, is something similar. A 7 millibar drop, that's probably fairly accurate. I'd say the storm's pressure is probably going to peak in the low 930s or high 920s. GFS, 960 millibars currently. I know they're stronger than that. I think they're running with 948 right now. But they have no strengthening, and they have it passing significantly closer to Hawaii than any of the other models. This kind of proximity, not exactly at this strength, but at the strength we're forecasting, the storm will probably be a 4 or a 5 on the danger scale thing, whatever it's called. And yeah, we have it at a 2 right now. So I'd say it's generous to think it would pass that close to Hawaii. ECMWF, 992 millibars. My bad, guys. It's not a Category 4 hurricane. It's a tropical storm. My bad. Anyway, again, only that's a 6 millibar drop. Not terrible. But yeah, all pretty much the same track and all pretty much underestimating it. So here's the infrared imagery. And I don't really know what to say other than this storm looks great, and it still baffles me that the NHC is calling this a Category 3 hurricane. This is something similar that happened with Hurricane Aaron earlier this year. Well, this year, I'm talking earlier this year, like 2 weeks ago. 2-3 weeks ago. And that was that they recorded Category 5 winds in the storm several times, and they didn't actually upgrade it to a Category 5 until they had to make a second advisory. In between advisories. And, yeah, the last advisory was, like I said, 5 to 6 hours ago, as of the time I'm recording this. I don't know what the National Hurricane Center has been doing these past few days, but they've been very, very slow with their updates. Like, I've been tracking the storm, and there have been times where the actual update, like, I do not see until, like, 3 hours after it says that it went out. But this storm is much higher than 120 miles an hour. I can confirm that. That's what the NHC is running with. And this satellite image is phenomenal. The eye still looks great. In that very last frame, though, like the last 2 frames, you can see there's a little bit of like a wobbly nature right there. But that's just the storm's been doing that on and off all day. You can see all throughout this. The storm is probably on a Category 4 hurricane for this entire imagery right here. And yeah, that's Kiko. And I would not be shocked if this thing gets to Category 5. I'm saying right now, I would not be shocked if it goes above 160. I would say the absolute cap for this storm would be 165 miles an hour, and the absolute minimum would be it just stays at the strength it's at right now. So, yeah, I don't think the storm is going to get higher than 165 miles an hour. I think that's probably the absolute cap. But yeah, that's enough about Kiko. Let's move on to the global tropics. Here's the global map. Hurricane Kiko there in the Central Pacific, and Tropical Storm Tapo was named earlier today in the South China Sea. And the current global threat is at a 6. We are giving 2 points for Hurricane Kiko and 4 points for Tropical Storm Tapo. That is it for this update. Like, subscribe, and goodbye.